It is 4:14. It is September 23rd. The week is over. What a week, right? Jeez. Take a look at disclosure. Let's get to it. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap look ahead. So, what does this week mean? What does today mean? That's what's going to be debated by the media, by traders, your mind, right? I just posted a chart, I think, to Redler All Access, basically, saying, just listen, this was the Fed day. This was, a day that was not the easiest, but that was the day to kind of reduce it, getting some longs and maybe get short. Pushed above, couldn't hold it, went below there. That candle dictated, the path, which was to the downside. Okay, so where do we go? Here is your 36.36, which was your June 17th low. We went to 36.47. All right, so let's just take this out of the way. This, I guess some will say that was a retest of the lows. What did it look like to me in my experience? Kind of looked like, we were down 3 days from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The oscillator was minus 100. Some things have already been down so much that you had uncommitted shorts not really wanting to be short anymore. You didn't have any fear, you didn't have capitulation, you didn't have like, oh my God, something that someone wasn't forecasting happened and we dropped, 1,500 points, where I was like, which I did feel once or twice, in this whole process. But anyway, we came off it. And we'll see what happens. Like I wrote here, you could probably see if a gap fill. If if all of a sudden nothing happens over the weekend. Obviously, I don't think there's going to be nuclear war, but there were people talking about the headlines out of Russia about using nuclear powers if that's the case. So I'm saying, what would make the weekend feel not as bearish as the bears would want? Well, no kind of escalation in the Ukraine, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, this could see 37.49 and still be nowhere. Maybe make this bigger. Let me put this over here. Since this active bearish sequence started, right, on August 19th, we've been rallying to the 8th day and failed. Through it and failed. Here they pushed the envelope and then got back below it real fast. So we could get back to there, and then next time we get here, maybe it doesn't hold. But for now, I would think most people would have covered a bunch of, a decent amount of their shorts and figure out, maybe we could bounce, maybe we would not. I didn't take any longs for next week. I did play a lotto. Spies. I did the 371s and the 372s, thinking that, hey, maybe if we get a real reversal, I'm probably not going to be long enough. I'm not in the mood to be in 17 different stocks or 10 stocks. I'll be in, I played the spies here and there, whatever. So, this time was a little different. Yesterday they did this and they sold off in the last few minutes. This time, you had a bit of a descending trend line here that broke to the upside. I did get long there and I made some money, but it would have been nice if all of a sudden you had a real reversal and we got up to like 373, 374. I bought the 371s for like 17 cents. That would have been like, 20 timer, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is. I also had 360s saying, hey, maybe we break the low. Maybe they try and do some kind of capitulation. Maybe they do get some kind of acceleration, and that didn't happen. So the 370s didn't work and the 360s didn't work. All we did is have a day in the life like this, back to resistance, to kind of mess with everybody. That's what this market has been really good at, messing with everybody. That's why you have to really be, so strict and prepared, and either you're really loosey-goosey or, you're strict and prepared with your process. A lot of things probably did the exact same thing, but still, things are like nowhere, in my humble opinion. Now let's maybe take this away. Did I save this to Redler Premium? Let me just see something. Yeah. So let me go back here. So I like to save the chart also without the language, so people can kind of think to themselves what the story is here. I'll come back to that. Let me see something. People have looked. For some reason, sometimes the VTF scrolls and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, what the Qs do today, didn't quite get to 269. Minute low here, what, 272? Some things made new lows of the year today, some things didn't. You know, Apple and Tesla kind of just did a little de-risking, a little less relative strength there, but didn't do much. We went through 275, came back above it. Also below the 8-day. I don't know. Not much to do there. You know, a little stronger than the diamonds, and the diamonds did make a new low. And this was the low. I haven't really even charted the diamonds, but you know, is this a push down below failure, red dog reversal? I don't know. Look how extended we are from the 8-day. We've come in a whole lot. I don't think, you know, today means much except for some shorts probably covered into a weekend, and then I guess maybe we'll see what happens. You know, they haven't given us any really good setups. You know, Wednesday's close on the Fed day, you know, would have been better if it led into a day like today versus yesterday's just wishy-washiness, but whatever. I know I'm not even going to chart this. What did ARK do today? Didn't even look at it once. Below this, kind of not back at the lows of the year, so ARK didn't make a new low in the year, and the Dow did. I don't know if that means much. Today's new low here is 3709. Bit of a doji, so I guess we'll see what happens with this doji, if anything, on Monday. All in all, though, this has not been acting special whatsoever. You know, just here was your topping tail. Here was, you know, the break of this ascending channel, and came in, tested that area, rolled over. Now maybe we're testing this area. This too. Everything could bounce back to the 8-day if it wants to. That's just if it wants to. You know, XLE, I've been warning everyone for a while that it's not special. You know, it's not like it was here. Anyway, you know, this wedge broke to the downside and then closed in. At least this was a good setup. This closed below the moving averages, so I'm sure some people were short energy, some people were Alexa off, some people might have been short this, and then you got paid. You know, the oil was really weak. Now you have this big gap here. At some point, it's what, 72.89. That could happen too. Anything could happen. Yeah. Unfortunately, not a great print. So what they're asking me on the VTF is if I put my wife's other tier in to make it 50% in. I didn't do thirds. I did went to 4 tiers. I did 1 tier, and then I did another one today. So now she has half cash, half in, and we didn't get a great print. It's fine. I'm okay with it. You know, again, now I have to be very patient on the other half of the money. You know, so if you could go to the weekly chart, you know, I wanted to do some just in case this was a retest here, right? I sold 42.70s for her, got her to full cash, netted her 12% in her intermediate account. She also has a 401k. Not a 401k, she's a 403b because she's a business owner that she does every month, but on the account that he can't do anything. So if you remember, we bought a little bit here and then a lot more there, and then sold a little bit here and then got to cash there-ish. So I bought a little bit here, and now I got whatever this closing print was, which I do believe is like 36.95. So I got below 3,700. I wanted to get below 3,700, but I wanted to get closer to 3,600. Problem is with that type of an account, you have to get the closing print, and you have to put the order in before 3:30. So anyway, it's fine. But now, with the rest of her money, or my money, because our money, because we are married. But anyway, this could happen. A lot of things could happen. You could even go more than that. If you go to the monthly chart, let's see what the monthly chart looks like. I haven't looked at the monthly chart in a while. Okay, here's your retest, kind of, and then yeah, could be 3,200. It could be anything. Bottom line is just seeing where this changed, and this did change when this ascending channel broke right there. Here the trend broke. Here was your retest. Couldn't get back above it, and then you just know how to read. I could just read any chart and I could draw my lines where I think it should have been navigatable. And I do that all the time, so you can look back and see. So this is one spot, and then this would be probably another-ish. But anyway, let's go back to the weekly chart. This is that's the old higher here, and that's right smack in the middle there. So I would say I can't put another tier of her money to work. Either this was it, which I doubt, and then she's 50% in. I've only was able to put 50% in here and 50% in there, and I never got more than that. So I only got 50% in here to make that. So now I'm in 50% here. So in order to get to 100%, probably I'd have to go here and then lower. But usually that doesn't happen. Maybe it happens this time, maybe it doesn't. We'll see. Then you look at stocks like what's Tesla going to do in the weekly? Is it going to come back to here? It already lost a little special status. A push through couldn't hold it, broke below there. So, it'll be interesting to see what Tesla does. This is on the weekly. Didn't trade Tesla once today. Probably, yes, could I have shorted it? Actually, no, did I play it? I played it for a second, maybe. What does this look like? No. Someone asked me if it looks like head and shoulders, top, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline. If that's the case, we're going a lot lower. But I remember when I did that with AMD, when I drew this, when I was like, oh my God, here's a head and shoulders top. That was when everyone still loved AMD, and I didn't think it was going to go down to where we drew the line first. This was a 71, 60, and then 59, and look where that is. Not saying Tesla's going to do that. I'm just saying anything could happen with any stock. Here's a new point of reference, and it's just you have to be careful now. Weaker market. How could you have switched gears fast? I don't know about here, but once it broke 305 and the market was really weak, I was like, okay, guys, better be careful now. And then it didn't hold this 295. Remember 295? That was over right around here. Boom, boom. Wow. So what's the low here today? 272.82. Where'd that 272 go that I just drew? Where is it? This is 276. Oh, here it is. Now this is irrelevant. Now this is just where support kind of is. 265, 266. So I'll just say 266-ish for now. Apple and Tesla are going to have to play some downside catch up for this market to really get some acceleration and some speed and some fear. Because obviously at this point the market doesn't really care, that Google is less than 100. No one really cares. It's been just dripping lower. No one really cares, I guess. That Meta has been working lower. Another new low. Another low of the year. 138.90. Some guys made really good money shorting Meta here. And then broke 144. And there's been like little back and forth trades, but working lower. Microsoft also. Another new low. I actually made money in Microsoft and I came in long it. So at least I feel like I navigated that one pretty well. You look here, although it's coming a lot and it's traded through the low of the year, you look at the weekly chart, it's still kind of like in no man's land, like it's heading down towards 222 at least, maybe even lower. It all depends on what kind of bunch of months we have. October. Hey, I just did Oktoberfest. Listen, guys. The paper cuts come. Sometimes netting money comes. Sometimes big winning days come. Sometimes doing nothing comes. Sometimes hard days come. Sometimes tough environments come. It all depends on how you handle it and what you're looking to do. What time frame you want to also matters. Trading for a living, you have to be very, very careful. The market is computer programmed so many different ways. It's kind of crazy. They've been doing a good job making, sucking some longs in here and there, making some people, uncomfortable a little bit short. Maybe not giving you the day that you want the day after, so you have to give things room. It's not like we've been buying like Goldman Sachs. Remember when that broke right here, the trend? There was a nice sequence during this post-earnings buy, and then it changed right there, and then it's come all the way in also. I'm saying this was the level I went over a few days ago, and I broke it. Maybe made some money short. Just I like to look back, look above the 8 and 21 day. This entire time, nice trend, and finally broke the 8 day, and then broke all the moving averages here. You should look back at charts that you traded and look at how you maneuvered it. What tier size did you use? What was the pattern? Was it above the 8 and 21 day? When did it break the 8 day? When did it break the 8 day and play with the 21 day? When did it get below both and then let it curl over? All that stuff. Look at past charts because you learn from them. Because then when you're in the moment, when a chart's doing whatever it's doing, you recognize that and say, hey, last time I didn't get short here, or hey, last time, I didn't buy Verside, or hey, last time I didn't, later, Phil, I didn't, honor my stop. So then the next time it happens, your little trading voice will tell you all those things that you didn't do the last time. That's how you develop your seat time and your trading voice. But again, it's pretty ugly. And here, look, what did it do? I ran into the trend line still. Like Oxy, it was a go-to name for like 3 weeks, and then I was done with it. When was I done with it? Right here, when it broke 72.82. Someone's like, oh, when you're done with it, I should just short it. I said, okay, if that's the value you take out of watching me, that when I'm done with the long and it gets wishy-washy, that means it's done going up, and you want to short it, go for it. So right here, when we got out of Oxy, after this, I didn't get onto the top until I think I sold some strength, got out right there. You could have shorted it, and then it was below the 8 day ever since. That's how you could have used my, maneuvering to your style. And then if I'm trying to buy something in the morning, buying it, and I'm like, it's not going up, then, brother's trying to buy it, it's not going up, he's away from it, let me get short it then. I'm not just going to flip short it sometimes, and then that I found you the relative weakness, because wasn't the right time and place. A lot of gaps, a lot of gaps. That we'll see if these gaps control the direction of price or if these, get filled. Typically, a gap like this usually gets filled after a directional move. It's like your exhaustion. We'll see. Will I play it? Probably not, because energy names are just, not great. Look at GLD. Wow. People thought they could hide in gold all year. Nope. Wasn't it supposed to be an inflation hedge? What's Bitcoin doing? Some people ask me if they could be long Bitcoin this weekend. I don't know. We closed off our lows. Obviously people are still in a very big risk-off mode. Crypto's kind of holding. If you were to buy it, you could put a stop in it, at 8.1. This was 8.15 actually, the low here. So, I'm sorry. Come on. I'll be exact. So even 8.1. So if I were to play this and I put a good till cancel order, and if you think this weekend, if you think that was the low in the S&P cash, we're gonna have a 4% rally, and crypto is gonna go, okay, well then you buy and you put a stop in at 18. If the 18.1's probably tight, go 17.9, or buy it here and put a stop in at 17.4. That's the low of the year, so you're risking, 1,500 or whatever it is to maybe do something better than it's been doing. That's only if you think there's going to be a bit of a risk-on flavor, which it's way too early to tell. But there could be a bounce there. Ascending channel, which was a decent trade, broke to the downside. Inside range broke to the downside. This range broke to the upside. This little ascending channel broke to the downside. So will this descending channel keep descending, or will it break above it? Better off buying versus a level than for it to trade through a level, because that really hasn't been able to happen. That's that. I might as well save this for the weekend too. All right. But anyway, all right, it's 4:37. I hope you had a decent week. It wasn't easy. Fed came out super hawkish. He definitely had a day to adjust, get rid of loose longs, maybe get short. I know I had a lot of puts on this week in the SPYs, and that worked. Did get a little sucked in yesterday in the last 45 minutes, but and that made today a little bit more complicated, but it's fine. Did we just retest the lows in the S&P cash and the Dow? And we did. How did it feel to me from 22 years? I don't know. This market, things have changed somewhat. It's sometimes some things don't feel the way they did. But from my experience, there really wasn't like some acceleration, fear, cascade, and there wasn't like some crazy reversal with power, squeeze, go nuts. It was more like, again, a move into this, stretched from Wednesday into Friday, that came a little off lows that maybe could give a bit more of a bounce. I remember after CPI also we had a little bit of a bounce, and that's when I was buying the puts, the 388s, the 385. So maybe we get some kind of bounce here, and then if we stay here and don't fill the gap and go sideways, next time we get here, then we break that perhaps. So I wouldn't put too much focus on the meaning of today, except for, did you make money or not? Did you follow your rules or not? Did you have too much risk on or not? Did you press lows and get squeezed? Maybe. Did you, have a good trade on the 5-minute chart but add once too many and get out of it? Like all those things. And then turn it all off and enjoy the weekend. Feed the brain, have some fun, so you can be ready to, execute with confidence again next week and move on. A lot of year left, a lot of opportunities going to be left, lots of them. Got a whole fourth quarter in front of us. And you have your whole lifetime of trading in front of you too. This is considered, when you hear the relations, this is just as bad as 2008. This is just as bad as this. So those are tough, not easy. Even if you're a seasoned trader, a lot of traders are, spinning in place. I spoke to my friend today, and he's been trading for a long time, and he also tried to buy the morning, got stopped out, and then first thing I see at 4:01, that rally was annoying. What is, and then another tweet was, that better not have been it, because that wasn't the way we all wanted it to be it. But so maybe that means it is it, but I doubt it. So don't have FOMO. Stick to your guns and enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you Monday, and I'll tweet a few things. Have a 50th year party coming up this weekend. It should be fun, and looking forward to it. I'm gonna relax and brush this all off. Go relax and brush it all off.